So I don't normally go live on YouTube, but today just happened to be a special day. So we're going to go to my page, my channel. I'm going to see that we are live. Fantastic. Yay. All right. So now I'm going to share this because I don't go live here often. And I'm going to share this on Facebook because that's where a majority of people that I know are. So, and then we'll just press paste there. We'll see if it works. And we'll see if Facebook will allow me to share. Alright, so that's now shared. And here we are on YouTube. Very good. Okay. So I'm going to hit play there. So I'm going to try and listen to make sure that audio is good, so forgive me. Oh, that sounds very hissy. Not what I want. So that is very hissy. Not meant to be hissy. So let's see if it's the cable. It's all there. And let's see what happens here if I just raise the volume a tad. I wonder if it just increases the hiss. That's not good. So it's got to be something here. All right. I still get a lot of hiss, so forgive the hiss. I'm sorry about that. Oh, the band is here. All right, for those that might be here, which I don't think there are going to be plenty, I am checking out the Yolo Live. The Yolo Live is a product that allows you to do basically what I'm showing you, what I'm doing. And I'm recording with it. I'm trying to make sure that, and the frame rate is really bad. So that's a problem too. And I got to figure out why the frame rate is bad. So reason number one could be alright, so that's much better on the hiss side. Now, there's still a lot of hiss. I gotta figure that problem out. But I'll have to do that at some other time. Let's see, what's this? Okay. Alright. So, frame rate is pretty bad. I don't know why, because I have plenty of kilobits to send a good signal. I'm going to blame the HDMI. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to blame the USB camera. I'm going to switch over to the HDMI. And that's actually made it worse. So, not cool. And then I'm also going to test one other thing. I'm going to test that chat actually works. So I'm going to test that out. You can't really tell the frame rate is low, but you can. I mean, it's telling me. Alright, so that's not cool. I'm going to have to figure that one out. And then see here. So, okay, so you're able to see the comments, although the location of the comments is pretty poor. So comments do work on YouTube. Fantastic. And I'm able to make sure that that is shown correctly. All right, so things that I wanted to show. One is that if I have a split view, I can also do it with graphics. So I have a graphic overlay that allows me to have multi-cameras, or let's say I'm showing off this computer. So the computer, it all works, it's all there. So that's neat. That works fantastically. And that was a very important one that I needed to test. And then I'll go back to my USB camera and I can turn off that overlay. Of course, you can have your branding on the corner. So that works quite well. And I'm going to have to talk into this microphone a little bit closer. And that's where you get rid of some of that hiss. But the hiss is really discerning. Not sure why there's so much hiss. So, since this is kind of like a live test, I am going to see what the cause of that is. That's the recording format. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I don't really have many controls in this setup that I have put for myself. Alright, let's see what I can do here. Alright, let's see if that does anything. Alright, testing. Nope, same thing. Okay, so sound pad. No, that's fine. Record form. No, that's fine too. That's fine too. I wonder what the cause of that is. No, that's not it either. Okay, so there's been some issues that people have been complaining about with the Yolo box. One could be quality. One could be... Okay, so I see grain here, but that's light issues with the camera. Two, if I switch over to the HDMI, which is a video camera, that's not going to look so grainy. And I got to figure out why that's doing that with that camera. This account, I have a lot of different contents on this account, but normally I don't use this account for anything. Alright, so I'm going to raise the brightness here, go back to the USB camera, and that graininess that shows up should be gone. Alright, good. So I'm going to warm it up a little bit. There you go, kind of a little bit warmer colors. And that should do that. Another thing I want to do is show what kind of cameras you can use. So the USB camera is really cool because it's actually a distance for me. It's a wide lens, and it would show a lot of the room. So I'm going to kind of really quickly, show how wide this room is. And ready, 1, 2, 3, boom. That's how wide the room is, and boom. I have the ability to just kind of switch. So you have one camera, but it's going to do like multi-camera-ish type switching. I can kind of show this little arm bracket there, and then go back to me, and it's still the same camera. So it's really neat. Very cool. I do highly recommend it. 16 frames a second. This should be better than that. Don't really know why it's performing so poorly. So I'm going to try and stand this up a little bit. So this is the device. This is what I have in my hand. This is the Yolo box. It's basically this. I'm going to show it off that way. And it has multiple inputs. I have all 3 inputs used. It has 3 camera inputs. One's a USB. That's actually this camera that we're using right now. Ethernet audio in, which is causing the hiss. And I don't know if it's the cable. Maybe it's because it's intertwined. I don't know. I got to figure that one out too. I wanted to come live because another thing is that I have my headphones on here. So that's how I'm listening to the hiss, to basically listen to the audio and see what kind of issues I'm having. And I'm trying to duplicate some problems that others are having with the device, because I do offer the device. I do sell the device. And I want people to have a great, experience with it. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my headshot because nobody needs to see my belly. Alright. And I'm going to fast forward there. Okay. Okay, so, things are working. We have the split view, which you can put an overlay on. There's no way to just kind of have the overlay already there. I can kind of have it as a background, but I don't want to use it as a background because I have logos over it. So, very tricky in that respect. Again, we're back to we're back to 12 frames per second now. I'm going now to my iPad. Now, the iPad is looking kind of yellow. And I don't know why. I think it's the translation from the cable to the device, and it's just not. So that's flickering. So that's an issue right there in itself. And then the video camera, which seems to be pretty smooth. The camera should not have a problem at all. And yeah, so trying to figure out what the cause of the slowdown is. All right, so I'm going to pull out the USB there. And we're going to see an increased frame rate, perhaps. Perfect. It did it. So now it's 27 frames per second. So the USB does eat a lot of processing power, especially if you intend to use the other cameras or the other slots. And that's a big deal. So I do have a capture device but I really don't want to use the USB now. So it's almost like the USB is there, but it really causes more harm than good, regardless of how good the camera is on the USB. So I'm going to try and put this once again into the slot, and without even going to, okay, it says that it's going to take more processing power, so it's already telling me it already reduced the frame rate instantly. Pretty sad. Yeah. So now I'm at 15 frames a second, and it shows. You can see it as I wave my hand. But if I go to the video camera, well, that's also 15 frames a second. So if I pull out the USB camera again, and I'll let the frame rate go up, and now much smoother. We're almost at 30 frames a second, and it's instant. So it's not good. I'm hoping that they come up with better processing power for the USB so that this doesn't become an issue, since it already is an issue. Of course, you can have swipes, so you can switch between. I mean, the swipes are nice. Yeah. And it looks like the swiping takes processing power. So let's see if I just keep swiping back and forth. Yep. So now at 24 frames a second, 23 frames a second. Interesting. 21 frames a second. But if I have the standard swipe, which is cut, it goes right back up to 25. So there's a processor leak or something, and it's possible that they can fix it with software update, because I don't recall this being this bad when I first set this up and started it. And I gotta check my cable, which is why it's so yellow on the. Okay. So I think that takes care of the content, the speed reduction, and what kind of issues you can experience with this. And it's a shame, because I really want it to be the best possible product you can get for the money. And I'm selling it for a very low price, but I want to make sure that I'm promising what it can actually do. And so we're going to have to look over some of that and see how we can make this a better situation. All right, so I'm going to end the live, and I think I did it just in time, but it's a really great product. I mean, it really can do some amazing things for the size, and it does need some breathing space in the back, so that's another concern, just to make sure that it's properly ventilated in the back. All right. So that will conclude this test. Ciao, everybody.